Welcome back to English 142 BA. I'm going to quickly summarize the class that took place yesterday on Thursday online. I forgot to record it in WebEx, so I'm just going to go back over some of the highlights for the students who weren't here. We've been working in the first week folder right up here. There's a link for Help Learning Blackboard. First steps was just practicing in the lab. Then I had some survey and practice tests, a grammar test, a difficult reading test where you have to read real quickly and answer 2 questions a minute, and a little survey to find out about your background. Some of us in this class have actually been learning and using English for quite a while, so that helps me understand your background. The next topic, and by the way, if you look around the screen here, you will notice that I am in a kind of a desktop view of Blackboard. So I can see titles on the top. I can see 2 menus on the left side. One is inside the course here, inside the course. This one is outside the course over here. So if I wanted to change that view and go into more like a phone or a tablet view, I would click Control plus together, and then the phone and tablet view is kind of like just a list, and you have to use these buttons to get to the other places. But usually on a big screen, this view is better to be able to see more on the big screen. Don't forget, how do I open up the course menu? It's right here. It's that little arrow or this blue line. That's the course menu. I can open it and I can close it on that line right there. So this is the new Blackboard Ultra, and we are on Thursday. We went into the first week section called Listen and Speak, and it was kind of a review activity. We had some review. We tried to do a quiz together online where I was speaking and students were answering. That was a little bit difficult, but I want to go back and try it again. There's also an AWL, Academic Word List, activity here that's a quiz. This is just to find out how many academic words you already know. And then I'll decide which AWL words we're going to work on. Next, I talked about the Flipgrid recordings, and I gave you 2 links here that you could record in Flipgrid. You could also record them in MeWe. Now, Flipgrid is the best because I can give video feedback or audio feedback. It's really wonderful. But it has a few problems, and I just discovered that it really doesn't work well sometimes in Google Chrome. It seems to work much better in Microsoft Edge. Edge is the new version that is similar to the old Microsoft Explorer, Internet Explorer. So using it is wonderful if you can get it to work on your phone or on the computer. If not, choice number 2 is MeWe, and I sent you a link because in MeWe you can join this app right on your phone, and you can send me little recordings and voice messages, so you can do all of this. You can read this phonics page, and in this case, you don't read the directions, by the way. You start reading down here. Sue drew a pencil sketch of a cute little puppy. Americans say little, but I'm being a careful English teacher, so I'm saying little, kind of British style there. So you read the page. I want to hear if it's clear pronunciation. And then this one, you have 1.5 minutes to describe the picture here. That's all it is. The general theme and then some of the details in the picture is what I'm looking for. Going back, there is, please don't forget about your introduction activity. I sent this out a week ago. Everyone has to record an introduction of about 3 to 5 minutes. And in Flipgrid it explains that at least 1 minute will be about my family background. 1 minute will be about my journey to America, coming to America. And at least 1 minute will be about the, it's all here on Flipgrid, so I'm just going to flip right over. And a few people have done it on Flipgrid. Read the story, describe the picture, introduce myself to the class. And there's my introduction. Here's the 3 topics. The third topic is something about me that's a little unusual or different or special. Makes me a different person than a lot of other people. So I would like to collect these and see if we could use these to learn about the other people in your class, because I think that's an important part of education when you're sitting there all alone in your little room, not even opening the door sometimes, just maybe going out to the bathroom, getting a few snacks, and then coming back into your little room and closing the door. That's what my life is like sometimes, but it shouldn't be. So let's connect through recordings, introductions, Flipgrid, and MeWe. Next week we're talking about a challenging topic that is the subject of immigrants in America. Where should they live? Should they be in separate neighborhoods? The Puerto Ricans love the West Side. The Arabs love Lackawanna. And where do the Burmese live? They like Riverside. Well, is that a good idea? Maybe for a while, but maybe not after 20 years, 40 years. I don't know. We're going to talk about it, and I want you to think about your opinions. And the big topic here, of course, is how do people gradually become a part of American society, and do they really start to give up their old culture and their old habits and traditions, or should they really save their language, their traditions, instead of losing them like a lot of Americans often do, especially after 50 years, 70 years. I had a grandmother, by the way, who really had a true Irish accent. And she never lived in Ireland, but she lived in part of Canada where everyone was Irish. So it was normal for her to speak with an Irish accent. And that's an example of an ethnic neighborhood situation where people from the same culture are living close together, sharing the same language, the same food, the same customs. Sometimes it's really nice, but sometimes maybe not. I don't know. And we'll be discussing it next week. Start getting ideas and opinions and think about the whole process of blending in and gradually becoming American in this society and how that should go. There's 2 readings here. One of them is about language ability, and it has some interesting statistics about how some groups do not speak English well. And which groups are those? They are the Spanish-speaking groups especially, because they can live, like in Miami, they can just speak Spanish all the time. In Miami, Florida, and maybe Texas. But in New York, it's a little bit harder, but not that hard in New York City. There's a lot of Spanish speaking there. And then we'll see some other groups and start thinking about why some of them speak English very well and some of them don't. And I'm not saying that it's really bad for them to speak their language. I'm not saying that at all. And I'm not pressuring them, but I'm saying that if they don't speak English, well, that kind of limits their opportunities in certain ways. And college is about expanding opportunities. So there's some nice little readings, and I even put some vocabulary help here for you. So please review this, do the quizzes. The main, think of ideas here, and especially number one, I want the introduction in some audio format by tomorrow night at the latest, because that's the biggest thing that you've been done this week.